Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, you often hear me touting Alaska as one of my favorite cruise destinations. We just did a group cruise to Alaska earlier this year. We had an amazing time. However, one Oklahoma family just had one of the worst trips you could possibly imagine. So it was supposed to be a family reunion cruise of about 16 people traveling. They booked the Norwegian Encore for a cruise down to Alaska, and everything was going fine when 9 of the family members in Ketchikan booked an excursion to the Great Canadian Lumberjack Show right there in Ketchikan. Now, many people who go to Ketchikan will immediately know that the Lumberjack Show is just off the cruise port in the main part of, Ketchikan, right off the docks. It's just around the corner a little bit. It's not that far to walk. However, that plays into the story because Norwegian is a little different than most cruise lines in Ketchikan because they have their own terminal. So what happened was they went back to 9 of them, a bunch of them children as well, went to see the Great Canadian Lumberjack Show. And when they came out to take the bus back, they had their tickets in hand, but the attendants operating the bus, there was like a ton of people there. And they weren't doing checks for tickets or anything. They were kind of just doing head count of people getting on the bus. And so once the bus got full, they said, okay, you're going to have to wait for the next bus. That's it. You can't get on. They said, okay, well, we'll wait for the next bus. Well, that bus never came, even though they had tickets. And eventually they had to call the port authority, who sent a van for them to rush them down to the cruise terminal to get on the ship. Well, they arrived back at the ship too late, and the ship had already left without them, leaving 9 of the 16 members still on shore, without their luggage, without their, in some cases passports, without their medication, etc. And the first thought I had in my head when I was reading this story was, wait a minute, isn't the cruise port like right there in Ketchikan? And I had to quickly remember that Norwegian Cruise Line has built their own terminal out there in Ward Cove, which is quite a distance from Ketchikan. You couldn't just quickly walk to your cruise ship to get there. You do need to take a vehicle to get back to the ship. So it looks like this was also an excursion booked through the cruise line. The reason I'm coming to that assumption is because of what happened next. Now we have 9 people, children, they're stuck. Your first thought is, okay, the cruise line's going to get them to the next cruise port. However, theirs was a mix-up again. And of the people who were left on shore, most of the passports were left there for them. However, one passport wasn't. And of course, that's enough not to be allowed the party into the next place because it was Canada. And they couldn't get into Canada without the passport. You can't fly into Canada without a passport. So that left another problem. So now the cruise line was being contacted with, and they kept on saying, the people, the family, is that it seemed like Norwegian was treating this like a customer service problem instead of an emergency where we're stuck here and we can't get out. It can be, it can't be. I know there's only so much that a customer service representative can do at some points. They kind of work with the port authority and the people there as well to try and arrange things, and usually it's the port authority trying to make some of the changes and everything and reporting back to the cruise lines. However, when the family started to try and book flights and hotels and everything for the way home back to Oklahoma because they can't continue, well, they got a surprise bill the next morning that Norwegian charged on their credit card For, you ready for this? $971 per person. Now, right away you're going to say, oh my, what the heck is this for? And why would they charge them? Well, it's a penalty. And it's an automatic thing that happens in some cases because of the Passenger Vessel Service Act, where you have to stop at, everybody has to go to a foreign port before returning to the United States. And this is the fine imposed if you don't do that. So they charged the 9 passengers $971 each, nearly $9,000 in fees because of that. All at the same time that these passengers were trying to book flights and hotels just to get back home. I don't know about you, but if a $9,000 bill shows up on my credit card, that doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room on my card, especially if I had been just on vacation spending money and booking things and paying for things along the way. Yikes, another kind of a nightmare situation. Now, and then just to top it off, they had canceled flights, missed flights, etc., etc., etc. They finally get home and they're trying to just recuperate a little bit. And some of the family members now also have COVID. just to top it off, And as the father says, we just feel beaten down. Like we just feel exhausted and beaten from our luxury Alaskan cruise line. So I feel sorry for this family. Now, right away, you're going to think, okay, Norwegian is at fault and be angry with Norwegian, but Norwegians responded, and I can see what they're saying. So their response was, on the afternoon of Friday, July 12th, the family of 9 guests missed the ship's all-aboard time in Ketchikan due to a misstep by a local tour operator. When the guests did not return to the ship at the published time, we attempted to contact them but were unable to reach them. As such, we alerted the local port agent in Ketchikan and requested that they assist the family with booking a hotel for the night, as the guests would be unable to downline to the next port of call, Victoria, British Columbia. The port agent also helped the guests in securing flights back to Seattle the following day on July 13th. We will be reimbursing the family for all of the out-of-pocket expenses they incurred over these 2 days as a result of missing the ship in Ketchikan, including meals, accommodations, etc. When these expenses are provided for us receipts. Additionally, we have already initiated the process to refund the family for the fee imposed by the U.S. Customs Border Patrol. As a result, the guests not visiting a foreign port prior to returning to the U.S., as required when an itinerary originates from the U.S. in accordance with the Passenger Vessel Service Act. In addition, these guests will be receiving a prorated refund for the 2 days they missed as a gesture of goodwill. The company will also be providing each of the 9 guests with a future cruise credit in the form of 20% off a cruise fare that can be used towards another voyage. So they have owned up to this was a mistake. It happens. And again, cruise ships have specific times they have to leave, especially in Alaska. There's tides to consider, etc. And they had to leave when they did. So it was a mix-up by the agents running the bus at the time. It was an automatic charge that goes through when a procedure is broken for the Passenger Vessel Act. And so it seems like Norwegian has done what they can, right? They had the port agent working for flights to help them. They were refunding that $900 and some dollars, process right away. They are giving them 2 days free off the price of that cruise, plus 20% more for future cruise, and they're going to cover all of the expenses: food, shelter, travel. And I guess that's pretty much all you can ever expect, all you can ever ask. When I have been left in a port due to a mistake by the cruise line. It's happened to me in the past before. And the cruise line covers everything, I'm okay. Mistakes happen, and I think it's great. It's sad that this happened to the family, and I'm sure they're not having fond memories of those last few days of the cruise. However, I'm glad to see that Norwegian Cruise Line has come through and is looking after this family, and I'm glad they're going to get their money back. And it all seems to actually work out not too bad. So let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think? Do you think Norwegian did enough? Do you think that's pretty much all you can expect? If a mistake happens and they take care of things, are you happy? Or are you saying, nope, hey, that's not enough. They should have been given free cruises, and the other 9 people that were part of the group of 16, maybe they should get stuff too, because now they're not cruising with their friends and their family. There's all kinds of ways to look at this, but in my situation, I think Norwegian is doing what they can. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.